Let's talk about in the previous video I said about the resources. Now we will talk about the strategies. See, you have to give mock tests, otherwise things won't happen. Like I gave 100 plus mock tests in these 2 years, 130 like that. um, I studied in Akash coaching, and didn't follow the classes that much. I don't didn't like it, so I used only the YouTube and the Akash test series. I gave the test only, and rectified my mistakes and revised it again and again, and that did the thing. Mm, Now the JMN, now the physics JMN PIQ. See, if you see a lecture, then you try to do those questions. As far as I remember, it's 200 or 300 questions per chapter. It would take much time for you. And if you try to see the solutions and then see like that, if like there is suppose there is a question and you see the solution, and then go back to the question and try to solve it by learning the solution, that how the question, how the author attempts the question, what is his method. I will imitate his method and do other questions. It would take a lot of time. um, but what I would say that you should see the JEEMAN PIQ videos, or the Umid one shot that cover. Umid one shot has selected questions of NEET and JEEMAN. Like if one question has one type, then they would cover, and the same PIQ, just digits change, and some words are changed, and that's repeated 10 times or 12 times in a few years. MR sir would take only one question like that, and in that same question he would also say how the questions can be modified or made tricky, but the method remains the same. He would tell about everything. So if one watches that or revises that through watching that video, it would be helpful, because he knows the tricks, and one who knows the tricks gets a upper rank in a competition, because he can do it with ease, using side techniques, just using the formula, short formulas that Emerson has. Um, then um, then JEEMAN PIQ, there are many teachers in YouTube who solve JEEMAN PIQ. You should watch that and then try, because watch that like that I have said. There are 12 questions, similar type, of 5 questions, similar type. In beside one question, you should write the formula in pencil, and then uh, you just do. So when revising in the last video, like I said, there are multiplication, subtraction, everyone can do. Where is the problem? We can't remember the formula. So if the question and there besides the formula written, when you revise that questions again and again, you will soon recall or memorize the formulas. Like it's not just formulas. You will then remember which formula is used in which problem, in that way. And like for my schedule, I would say, suppose there is a chapter called electric charge and field, or magnetic effects of current. One day I decided I would start it tomorrow, and complete around 150 questions that day. I will do only physics the whole day. That was my style. Everyone has their own style. So I did what I did the questions. I took the photo of the question, and no, not the photo, just question first sentence I type in the YouTube, and I would get a doubt nut or PW solution of 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I watch that, I learn the process, I write it in a short form, and then do the question. Like I start in the morning, and then take up then studying whole day, taking breaks, and at the night time it gets completed around 150 or 120 questions in physics, like that. But if I try to use brain, it was useless, because everything you need to do is just memorize the methods, learn the observing method and apply those observing method. There is nothing you need to think the procedural matter with yourself. You can learn it from someone else. There, that goes the physics part. And physics also, you should make short notes. MRS's Umid channel, Umid 2025 playlist I used. If you can find, I will also put the link there in the description box. And in that way, you can do use the short notes as the theory, and JMN PIQ, the selected PIQs, as your question practice method. And there is also another video I used, which is called physics formula one shot. That video was made in 2024, an old video, but it's really helpful. The sir Tanuj Bansal sir, he completes the whole formula of 11 and 12 physics in 6.5 hours. That's helpful just before the exam, when you need to brush up those formulas, like that. Um, and there is also now the chemistry part. Physical chemistry. What I did, I took the suppose there is 12 questions or 15 questions in a page. I took the photo of the page and then send it in a Gemini, and say that tell me which question has to use which of the formula. Any one question has to use one formula, another question need two formula. Like the first formula finds one variable, the value of the variable is used in another formula to find another one variable, which is the answer. Like that, I just put in Gemini, I will find the formulas, I write it in pencil beside it, and just remember which question is used with which formula, because that same questions are repeated in the neat, with just slight change in language. So I prefer that if you can remember the formula, you can do it quickly. Hmm. And there is also and the biology, there is also only MCQ solve and repetition. Now, what was my method? What I believe that you should avoid mental fatigue, uh, so that you can study long hours. I can study around 7 to 12 hours every day in off days, like minimum 7 hours, or maximum like 10 days before NEET I took it to 11 or 12 hours, uh, because I don't have mental fatigue. What I did is I took the audiobook. Like I said, I turned on the audiobook and just listen to it, keeping the book in front of me. In that same way I used for chemistry, and that same way I used for physics. Physics, I just saw the solutions, how the solutions are done. And some part you need to do yourself. There is no choice. And I also made a diary like this. This is a pocket diary I made for rectifying, like the data I forget every time. I used to forget which diseases are completely curable, 3H. So I followed that, wrote it in the diary, and before every test I used to revise it. And also the techniques I need to follow. Like if you mistakenly you have the answer as one, the one number option is the answer, but you mistakenly put a dot in the fourth one, and then you shift to one and fill the one. There is fourth option, only one dot. Uh, that's no problem. The OMR will OMR scanner will take first option as your answer. But the problem here comes. I have dot method. Like I first dotted every answer that I make, and then I put aside the question paper, and I also only fill up the OMR. Now you are coming from up, or you are coming from down to that question where you have made that blunder. You mistakenly fill up the dot also along with another fill up. Like there are two OMR filled in OMR circles filled in one question. Because when you solve around 30 or 10 OMR circles next to one to one, then your mind gets like that. Then your mind thinks only wherever I find dot, I have to just fill up, no matter what, and your mind forgets that there I have made a blunder. So what I did is wherever I made that mistake, I filled up the question above it. I filled up the question below it to make a barrier. So when I am going from up to down or down to up, I get a barrier that here the OMR is completely filled in this question. And the next question I see after that question there is a mistake. So it's kind of a barrier that ticks your mind that you have made a mistake. That was a technique I had written in the diary. And then also the ratio, suppose then respiratory quotient value for carbohydrate or protein. For protein it's 0.9. In one of the ACAS question there is written, there was asked the, usually we ask the ratio of CO2 evolved by ratio of oxygen needed, but they have asked them the opposite ratio. Like they gave the same thing, but at first they wrote the inverse of the ratio of. Now I didn't notice that inverse. Then I realized that got mistaken, and the question got incorrect. Then I realized that I have to see that, and I wrote that see whether it is x by y or y by x. Like those silly mistakes you can write in this diary. It will, if you revise it before every exam, like every coaching exam, two times in a month or one time in a month, it will be helpful. You can revise it before neat also. I revised it also before neat also. And there is also another channel called Anmol Sharma Biology. He's a good teacher. He like he has done himself 14 papers, discussed it. It was helpful. Like I did those 14 papers, and those drastically reduced my biology mistakes. Biology is an easy subject, but the problem is it's not school biology, that simple question or direct question. It is made tricky. Like there is a long statement, and there is made one change, and you get the mistake. Like select the correct option, select the correct statement. Usually we think that we have to find the correct statement, but if you think that there you have to read around 500 or 400 course paper pages, and how can you remember which statement is correct, because your mind gets blurry kind of. And then if you try to see the correct option, correct statement, sometimes you may get it wrong. This happens in coaching tests because they have better question level made of NCRT. So what I did was, instead of finding, see, you have taken, you have chosen the correct statement. It has no justification. How can you say it's correct? You will say it's in book. But if you think it in that way, that select correct statement, okay, so I have to find three incorrect statement. So you can see the mistakes there, that in this statement this one is mistaken, this one is done incorrect, and in that this one is done incorrect, and this one, so the leftover option is my answer. And these techniques I learned it from Anmol Sharma. And that's how far I can, that's as far as I can remember about the strategies. um, Another method I didn't use in UG NEET UG preparation, but I am hoping to use it in my MBBS. Uh, like the method of audio recording. You see, if you have a short note, suppose 2 pages or 4 pages, and you have 8 chapters, 2 into 8, 16 or 20 pages. Then what you can do, just record your voice in a recorder, phone recorder, when revising two times, second time or third time. Then if you revise it 10 times, like I, then well, you have to do, you have to just turn on the recorder, just listen to it, keeping the short note in front of yourself, and that way it will get mentally less fatigue, and it would study would become an easy task for you, and you can take it to long hours easily. Um, the main advantage behind the main feature due to which I can do long hour study is because I rarely read it myself. I always used recording or audiobooks and just listened it. And you know, listening is um, less work than subvocalizing yourself. Those method, that's how those are the strategies I remember now. If I remember more, I will tell you.